What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod and I'm coming at you today with my Photon/Galaxy deck list. This of course is the deck that I've been using most recently up on DevPro and of course quite recently up in a dual video series here on my channel. So if you haven't checked out any of those videos, please, I encourage you to go back to my channel and take a look at some of that. For those of you guys who are ready, I'm going to go ahead and get started with this deck profile. Okay, so this by no means is probably my final version of the deck. It is still very much a work in progress. I'm going to go ahead and run through all the cards in the deck, starting right here with the monsters, and then I'm going to run through some of the basic combos you can do in the deck. Alright, so I play 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, 2 copies of Light and Darkness Dragon, and then 1 copy of Galaxy Knight, and then 1 copy of Guardian of Order. This kind of rounds up our level 8 monsters. From there, we're running 2 copies of Photon Thrasher. I've bounced around between 2 and 3. Right now I'm running it at 2, but 3 is definitely a viable option. Just sometimes I hate getting that third one clogged in my hand or drawing 2 of them. And you can only really use 1 of them at a time. So from there, we're playing 2 Photon Satellites, 2 Galaxy Wizards, 2 Shining Angels, 2 Effect Veilers. I have Honest, of course. I have a Tecton DD Warrior Lady. This is pretty good for getting around cards like Ophion and whatnot. It's searchable via Shining Angel, along with a lot of the other light monsters that are in the deck. And it's just kind of an interesting tech choice. I've been digging on this card for a while. It's a old classic, kind of one of my favorites from way back in the day, and I think it still works pretty good. And then finally I have in Gorz. That's going to round up the monster cards. Alright, so for spells, we're running 3 copies of Trade-In. We're running quite a bit of level 8 monsters, so, you know, Trade-In is usually pretty live. We're also running 2 copies of Galaxy Expedition, really good for getting out our Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons to the field quickly. We're also running 2 copies of Photon Sanctuary. This works awesomely well with Light and Darkness Dragon, and you can actually use it for any level 8 that you want a normal sack for, or you can use these to special summon out your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as well, kind of good. I have 1 copy of Galaxy Zero. I've kind of bounced this card between 1 and 2. I mostly use it just to go into some really kind of crazy you know, exceed plays, either with going into 2 level 4s, you know, by bringing back my Photon Thrasher or something like that, or I can use it to bring back, you know, Galaxy Eyes and then use that with Satellite, or bring back Thrasher and then Satellite, and yeah, I'll get to some of those in just a little bit. I also have 1 Tecton copy of Creature Swap. We have a lot of monsters in here with very low attack, plus the Shining Angels, and usually it makes Creature Swap a pretty good live card. From there, just some staples, 2 MSCs, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, and a Monster Reborn to kind of round up the last bit of the spells. Alright, so for traps, we have 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole. Just playing the 1 Torrential instead of 1 Bottomless and 2 Torrentials. Usually I want to keep my board presence, and this is just kind of like a last, I don't know, ditch effort if I need to go to it. Mirror Force, 1 copy of Fiendish Chain, because I'm also taking out the 1 copy of Breakthrough Skill. Typically I like to run 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. I've been going for a real techie, you know, trap lineup, but I really like Breakthrough Skill. It's kind of cool because, you know, if your Fiendish Chain gets MST'd or whatever while it's face down, it's really no good. But Breakthrough Skill, even if it gets MST'd, you can still come back to be helpful on your turn, especially if you're playing against, I don't know, Dino Rabbit or something like that, or Macro Rabbit, whatever they're calling it now, because you could, you know, put a negation to their Logias and whatnot. And then finally, just 1 copy of Solemn Warning to kind of round up the trap cards. Alright, so for the extra deck, I have 1 copy of Starliege Paladynamo, Diamond Dire Wolf, Abyss Dweller, Black Ship of Corn, Gagaga Cowboy, Maestro, Photon Operative, and that kind of rounds up all of my rank 4s. For rank 5s, right now we're playing 2 copies, just 2 different ones, just Tiras and Volcasaurus. I did have Adreus in here, but I just never went into Adreus. Anytime I wanted to destroy a monster or something, I just always went to Volcasaurus so I can actually do the damage as well, and then just go to Gaia over it. And I just never really felt the need for Adreus, and so that's kind of why I took it out. Plus it allowed me to free up an extra room for Diamond Dire Wolf, or whatever other card you feel like might have been a better tech choice. I don't know, that's just the way I've been using it lately. I also got 1 Gaia Dragon, 1 Heretic Sun Dragon, then of course Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. This is going to round up our rank 8s, and then I have for rank 9, number 9, Dyson Sphere. Okay, for Exceeds, we're playing Stardust and Allied Justice Catastor, and that kind of rounds up the extra deck. Okay, so Photons is a very combo-oriented deck, and for that reason sometimes we need to stall out until we can get all the pieces of our combo together, and I find Light and Darkness Dragon to be a really good card in accomplishing that. To best utilize Light and Darkness Dragon, we should already have a really good monster in our graveyard. Typically the one we want in there is Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. This is probably the best one that we could put into our graveyard besides maybe Neo Galaxy Eyes or something like that, but if Galaxy Eyes is in there, I feel pretty comfortable summoning this out. The most optimal first turn play, in my opinion, in the deck is to play Trade-In with Galaxy Eyes, dump it into the graveyard so you can get a couple draw cards, and then go ahead and play Photon Sanctuary. Brings us out 2 tokens, and then we sack for our lad. Now this puts us in a pretty good position. We've gotten a pretty good sizable hand. We have lad on the field, so they're going to have to waste probably at least 2 or more resources to get rid of it. And then once they do, we get our Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. That's the most optimal first turn play in my opinion for the deck, but there's a bunch of other plays as well. Now rank 5 is pretty easy to go into. All you got to do is special summon out your Photon Thrasher, normal summon out your Photon Satellite, and then overlay. You can do it for any rank 5 that you think you might need at the time, whether it be Tiras, Volcasaurus, or if you want to try taking out some other rank 5s instead, whichever one you feel would best suit the situation you're in. A real quick, easy way to get to a rank 5 monster. You're not really losing any advantage at this point. Typically when you overlay, you're going to destroy one of their monsters right away with Volcasaurus, so I don't ever feel like you're wasting 2 cards. You're always 1 for 1 and 1 off. They still got to get rid of this guy. Dyson Sphere is also a really cool card to bring out, rank 9. Typically what you want to do is get Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon out to the field in some way, either by bringing him back with Light and Darkness Dragon's effect, or double sacking him, or special summoning by, you know, tributing off 2,000 attack monsters or higher, or typically what I find myself doing is after he's in the graveyard, I bring him back with a card like Galaxy Zero. Then I normal summon out my Photon Satellite, make them both a level 9, and gives you a quick overlay into your Dyson Sphere. Okay, so bringing out Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, I guess is a little bit more complicated, or requires a little bit more cards. The effect is pretty awesome though, and it is an awesome size beater with a humongous attack, so once he comes out to the field, he can be pretty boss-like. Typically what you want to have is you want to normal summon out your Galaxy Wizard. From there you're going to use his effect to make him a level 8. Next you're going to need one of these 2 cards, either Galaxy Expedition or Galaxy Zero. If you use Expedition, you need to make sure that you still have your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in the deck. If you use Galaxy Zero, of course you need your Galaxy Eyes in the graveyard. Use whatever one you need to bring out your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. And then now that you have 2 light monsters out on the field, you could special summon Guardian of Order right on out. If you used Galaxy Zero to bring him out, you can then go ahead and tribute off your Galaxy Wizard to grab Galaxy Expedition from your deck. You can then play Galaxy Expedition since you have your Photon Dragon out here on the field. And special summon out your final Photon Dragon from the deck so you don't have to draw into it. From there, you can go ahead and overlay all your monsters to get out your Neo Galaxy Eyes Dragon. Okay, so Shining Angel is one of the key cards in the deck. This allows you to kind of tutor out a bunch of the other cards that lie within your deck. So it gives you access to, you know, DD Warrior Lady, Effect Veiler, so you can go into a synchro play. It gives you access to cards like Galaxy Wizard, so if you're setting up for next turn. So if your opponent only has 1 monster and they hit it, you can bring out your Galaxy Wizard to set up. Same thing can hold true with your Photon Satellite. You can also bring out another Angel if you need to continue stalling. You can even bring out your Honest, and then at the start of your next turn, you can return Honest to your hand, and then maybe summon out your Thrasher or whatever. This enables you to get your Honest to your hand as quickly as possible. Okay, and there you have it, YouTube. This was my Photon/Galaxy deck. Remember to let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. Like I said, a lot of the plays are pretty basic, but I think sometimes some of the more basic 1-2 punch kind of plays are some of the most effective ones. So as I said earlier, once again, this deck is a work in progress, so any kind of helpful feedback and constructive criticism is always most welcome. So I guess that's about it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.